She jumped out of that black SUV and pointed at my 10-year-old. Sounded like he was some kind of criminal. "Hand him over," she screamed. "He violated HOA security rules." I froze for a second because we don't even have an HOA. We live on open county land. My boy just stood there, shaking, holding his little toolbox he uses to fix his bike. Then two men in cheap uniforms stepped out behind her, flashing plastic badges like they were running some operation. One of them tried to grab my son's arm. My son looked up at me with wide eyes, and all I felt was a quiet burn inside my chest. I said, "Touch him again, and you'll regret it." Karen smirked like she had already won. "We're HOA enforcement." She pointed at a streetlight that had been broken for months. "Your kid damaged community property," she yelled. Before I could reply, the fake cop pulled out a clipboard and announced, "We're removing the child for questioning." My hands tightened, but I stayed calm. Too calm for someone who looked like an average mechanic dad, because she had no idea who I actually was or what I'd survived. Karen stepped closer, trying to push past me toward my son. "Move, or I'll call the real police and say you're resisting." She had that smile. The type of smile people get when they think they own everything. My son grabbed my sleeve, whispering, "Dad, are they allowed to take me?" I leaned down and whispered back, "Not from me. Not ever." Karen snapped her fingers at the fake cops. "Take the kid now." They started walking toward him again, slow, confident, like they'd done this before. And that's when something clicked in me, something she couldn't see, something they couldn't predict, because I wasn't just some quiet dad fixing bikes at home. I was the one thing fake cops fear the most, a Navy SEAL with patience running out. The two fake cops didn't even make it 3 steps before I spoke again, calm, low, and cold enough to make all 3 of them pause. "Before you touch my son, look at the ground." They glanced down, confused. My boots were planted in the dirt, but what they didn't realize was that I positioned myself between them and the only path out. A small detail, but enough to shake a man who knows he's lying. One of the fake cops swallowed hard. Karen rolled her eyes. "Stop trying to act tough. You're just some handyman. Move." I didn't move. I didn't raise my voice. I just asked, "What's the penal code on child attainment by HOA?" They froze. Their faces twitched. They didn't know the answer. They didn't even know the question. Karen huffed, pulled out her phone, and pointed it right at me like she was recording some big victory. "Perfect. I'll show the police how you threatened us." My son stepped behind me, trembling. That pushed something inside me even further. I gently tapped his shoulder. A silent message. Stay close, but stay calm. Then Karen marched toward the streetlight, yelling, "This brat broke it. You think you can hide behind your dad? I'll make sure you both get kicked off this land." "My land?" I asked quietly. She laughed. "Yes, HOA land." I reached into my pocket, pulled out a folded document, and held it up. "This land, The one my father bought 20 years before your HOA even existed. Her smile dropped. The fake cops exchanged looks. But before she could respond, a loud crack echoed across the yard. A truck door slammed. My neighbor, an older man with a limp, stepped out holding his phone high. Everything's recorded, including the part where those two tried to grab a minor. Karen's face went pale. Turn that off. You can't record HOA security operations. The old man just chuckled. Sweetheart, you're standing on county land. And those two, they're not officers. I ran their plates. Karen turned toward the fake cops, suddenly shaking. You said you were official. Their hands slowly drifted toward their belts, not for weapons, but for something else. Something that told me these men were about to make a very stupid decision. I stepped forward, placing myself fully between them and my son. Before you do something you can't walk away from, I said. You should know exactly who you're dealing with. The taller fake cop sneered. And who are you supposed to be? I met his eyes without blinking. Navy SEAL, retired, and I can tell when a man's about to panic. His jaw locked. Karen gasped. My son's grip tightened, and that's when the situation took a turn none of us expected, because a real police cruiser rolled up behind them, lights off, engine slow, like it had been listening the whole time. The cruiser stopped and the real officer stepped out, slow, steady, already watching the fake cop's hands. Funny thing, he said, dispatch got a call about men impersonating law enforcement. Karen panicked instantly. No, they're with the HOA. They were helping me detain this man's kid. The officer raised an eyebrow. Ma'am, there is no HOA here. The fake cops tried to run. They made it 2 steps. I didn't even touch them. The officer tackled one. My neighbor stuck a cane in front of the other, and he crashed straight into the dirt. Karen backed away, whispering, This isn't happening. The officer cuffed the fake cops, checked their badges, and shook his head. Both fakes. You're going in, too, ma'am. Conspiracy, attempted kidnapping, trespassing. Karen started crying. I didn't know. They told me. I finally spoke, quiet but sharp. You tried to take my son. You knew enough. The officer nodded toward me. Sir, your footage and your neighbors will seal this. Karen screamed the whole time as they put her in the cruiser. My son slipped his hand into mine and whispered, Dad, are we safe now? I looked at him and said, Yeah. No one touches you, ever. The cruiser drove off, dust rising behind it, and just like that, the land was quiet again. My land, my home, my family. Safe, because this time the wrong people messed with the wrong dad. Thank you so much for watching. Please visit my new channel. The link is right in the description. Go watch the videos, enjoy them, and don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss out on the new HOA stories we have coming up.